Now, much of the spotlight on China's response to the COVID-19 outbreak has focused on the decisive curbs made possible by highly centralized state control. But it's also hinged on China's ability to mobilize private resources and getting its corporate champions to set up. Lynette Lim with this report.
The outbreak of COVID-19 has paralyzed domestic travel in China. And with several major international airlines suspending or cutting back on their flights to the country, China's tourism and other related industries have taken a big hit. Among them, China's largest online travel agency, Trip.com. But it was also among the first to act when travel restrictions were put in place. It set up a $28 million fund to cover customers who booked trips but can't travel.
So I personally talked to the major hotels and airlines, their CEOs, just to make sure they realize how severe the situation is, how fast that they need to make a decision on the spot. And overall, our partners are very supportive. So they come up with free refund, free cancellation policy, originally within China, and gradually go to Asia and then global places.
To pull all that off, Trip.com says employees, especially coders, programmers and call center staff, have had to work many times their usual workload. Apart from Trip.com, several big companies from telecommunications giant Huawei to logistics players JD.com and Didi, as well as internet conglomerates Alibaba and Tencent, have all stepped up, providing either generous donations or technology and essential services in times of need. For example, Alibaba's Hema chain of grocery stores have been ordered to remain open, while Huawei provided 5G and other technology support to the temporary hospitals constructed in Wuhan.
China has a natural advantage because it's a top-down kind of the societies. So the government can, ask the help from the companies to mobilize all the resources within, a short time frame.
It's also been able to do something unthinkable in many countries, shutting down entire cities and putting millions of people under quarantine.
I think in terms of legitimacy, the local government's suppression of citizen journalists as well as whistleblowers will really hurt the short-term legitimacy and credibility of the CCP.
Because of the virus, China has postponed its annual parliament session for the first time since the Cultural Revolution. But even as it's fighting to contain the virus outbreak, it's also working to maintain social stability and to ensure that blame does not reach the country's top leaders. Lynette Lim, CNA, Singapore.